Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Bidayah Screencast. We've completed chapter 3, alhamdulillah, and now all that's left is the assessment. We want to assess the student's skills, not only how much the student gained from chapter 3, but also this test includes the same concepts from chapters 1, 2, and 3. So in this way we can evaluate the student's progress overall throughout Bidayah book. Please take note of the checkpoint. We have this at the bottom of every chapter exercise. This checkpoint serves to standardize a common requirement between different classes or different students, so that there's a common standard when allowing the student to pass. For example, for this chapter, the requirement is a score of 8 out of 10. So we want to ensure that we don't simply pass the student by if he or she reads all of the words in the chapter. We want to make sure that they've grasped the concepts and that they're able to continue to the harder concepts in the following chapters. In order to pass this chapter exercise, we want the student to differentiate very clearly between the different types of tanween. For example, if the student comes to read the first word, judadun, and says juda, din, dan, we don't want the student to hesitate and simply guess between different tanween types. Students tend to guess all three types of tanween, and then they're just lucky when they guess the correct one. However, we will allow the students, if they hesitate slightly between the first two letters of juda and then make a confident answer of dun, this shows a sign that the student has grasped the concept. And inshallah, with more practice over time, the short hesitation will disappear. But as long as the student is not guessing, then he or she will most likely pass this chapter. Of course, we use the same technique in this chapter exercise. Each line is increasingly difficult. For example, the first line contains shorter words than the final line, and we're not mixing up the types of tanween too much in the first line. These are all new words in this chapter exercise, never before seen in the lessons, so the student won't simply memorize the words and the tanween patterns. On the second page of this chapter exercise, as usual, we have the evaluation. This again is used as the main form of communication between the teacher and the student's parent or guardian, as well as between the teacher and the coordinators of the school, if such a case exists. The first evaluation will be the lessons that the student passed and needs no more help with, and then we have lessons that need additional practice, and then this third box, lessons that need to be redone. This might be a sign that the teacher needs to explain the lessons in a different way. Maybe the student was not receptive to a certain form of instruction, so when we mark the third box, what makes it different from additional practice is it needs new explanation. And inshallah, a score of 8 out of 10 will pass this chapter. And we have the comments box for the teacher to take note of the student's strengths as well as his or her weaknesses. And finally, the parent's signature as well as the teacher's signature. Please remember to refer to the instructor's manual, and throughout the entire book, we want the student to refer to Bidayah's website, which has the audio recordings, as well as Bidayah flashcards. These will provide additional practice along with the workbook, so inshallah the student can progress. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.